And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Michigan Postgame Live here at Michigan Football, voice of college football. We got John and TJ here and another unsatisfying game. But before we dive into all of that, I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know, we're in that race against Ohio State for the subscribers, and send us a super chat if you want your comment or question to the top of the line. And just a reminder that we do the $100 to unlock a second hour. Got the first hour no matter what. Second hour is $100, and then so on and so on. And TJ, you did 5 hours last time because of the generosity of everybody in here. So kudos there. I wish I could have stayed the whole thing, but today I'm with you the whole way, no matter what. So let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Wolverine Nation came through. We did a 5-hour post game last week. They had a lot to get off their chest. I'm sure there's a lot to get off everyone's chest today. What a game, John. A 28-18 victory. What should have been 28-24 if someone could kick a field goal. Thank you. We took their field goal kicker. That could have been worse as Zavada never transferred. Yeah, what a mess, man. I mean, we have a lot of issues. We talked about this. Listen, we've been on it. We've been on it on most things. You know, like we identified along with mostly, not everybody though. Some people were still thinking we were a bit negative. No, we're not negative. We're really seeing a team that's out of sync, out of function. They don't play well together. There's a bunch of issues. The only few positives, John, and we can get into offense first here. You know, look at the half, we were 5 for 5 for third downs, which was good. We had 176 yards at the half, which was nice. We finished the day with 301 yards rushing. In my opinion, John, even though Donovan Edwards had an improved day, you know, I still would argue Khalil Mullins needs to be RB1. They got to stop forcing Edwards being RB1. Just use him as a playmaker, as a weapon. Just use him in the slot, things like that. I will say this, though, another positive. Our wide receivers were blocking at an elite level, which was good to see. That was definitely an upgrade from past games. And then let's get into quarterback play, man. Warren.
Let's put up some of these. I got the box score here. Let's look at some of these numbers. So it just felt like TJ, the hubris of Sharon Moore had been seen for 2.5 games, where he just refused to give Alex Orji the look he needed.
Day syndrome.
Ryan third base syndrome. And now finally Alex Orji goes in. He's out of all the passes he's thrown, 2 of them have gone for touchdowns. So he's thrown what, 5 passes? 2 of them have gone for touchdowns. So 40% of his passes have resulted in touchdowns, even though they've been short yardage passes. So what did you think about how the offense looked when Alex Orji came into the game? Did you see a wholesale shift in mentality, or what did you see once that happened?
I saw an offense that can only run the ball. I saw an offense that was afraid to throw the ball once Orji got in the game. Do I think Orji, if we play Orji the way we played Orji today, will he last a full season? Absolutely not. He's going to get killed. He doesn't even slide. Like the dude just which, you know, look, I respect that. You know, I respect going all out and giving everything you got. But when you're the quarterback, because we don't seem to have a quarterback,
right.
That's very dangerous to do. He will not last 6 games playing like that, man. Like, he's going to get cooked. And because we're gonna be depending on him a lot. Now, here's another thing too to think about with this offense with Orji in it. Say we're behind. Is Orji going to get his back? Because the coaching staff does not trust his arm. That is extremely evident. They did towards the end of the game start to give him more passing plays, but I mean, look, we saw him miss Fred Moore on the deep shot there. Although Fred Moore was not going 100%. Even so, even if Fred Moore was going 100%, he still would have overshot him.
Yeah, I said it on Twitter. That ball was going to Canada. You know, so Fred Moore could have ran a complete route, still would have not been able to hit. But that is a bit on Bellamy and Fred Moore, because I don't really know what they're coaching in terms of route running in practice.
Yeah, what is that?
It worries me. It worries me that they keep not following through.
Shit, Bellamy, man. Guess what? He's on hot seat. Bellamy can go. I'll say that right now. We're talking about coaches that can go. He can go. Get out of here. Okay. Um, let's talk about Davis Warren for a second before we continue with Alex Orji.
Yeah.
Davis Warren has 6 interceptions in 3 games, man. That's what we're dealing with the other quarterback, which is
Yeah.
not.
That's why
And
it's like, TJ, like, that's why I'm thinking, well, if it's going to be that bad throwing the ball with Davis Warren, then at the very least with Alex Orji, he introduces the run threat. And we saw one really bad pass against Fresno, and I get that, but like, I think the offense is still more dynamic if they throw like 5 to 7 times a game and they're throwing 5 to 10 yard routes versus and not getting interceptions. And then you have the
right.
run threat of Orgy versus Mullings and which way they're going to go. You throw Donovan in the perimeter. And so, yeah, I think it's still a better offense doing that than what they were trying to do. They were trying to become like a more of a pro style sling it offense with Davis Warren, and I don't think that the horses are there. Even if Davis Warren wasn't just throwing to defenders, but he was throwing to defenders.
Look,
So
we don't have the wide receivers to be an aggressive air attack, and our quarterback, although seems to have a pretty capable arm, makes terrible decisions. Like some of his throws are wild, man. Like and some of the throws are fantastic, but some of these
right,
throws are like, what is your decision making? I know on the second one his elbow got hit, like I'm aware of that, but like regardless, the other 2 interceptions, terrible. Um, just unbelievable. I mean, he's driving the field, he's driving the team down the field, and he's making these boneheaded decisions. It's just insane, And I'll say this though: when Greg Crippen got put into the game, I think it was the 3rd quarter, the offensive line started playing better. He needs to be starting center. Khalil Mullins
yeah,
needs to be RB1. I don't know what these coaches are seeing. You know, I just don't understand our coaching decisions here. The O line has to protect our quarterback better. Evan Link is a damn pylon out there, bro. He's a damn pylon. Evan Link is, I don't know. Andrew Gentry must be that ass. I mean, he must be that terrible, dude. And then I also want to point out Donovan Edwards' pass blocking is garbage. It's straight garbage. The amount of dudes he let go by him is wild. Dude, just split him out wide. Just use him for his abilities. Stop trying to make him something he's not. Although I will say he did run better today. He did run better. But
yeah,
still, Khalil Mullins is RB1 in my opinion. Edwards
it's
did run
obvious.
better. Yeah, offense is a damn we got a problem here, man. We got a real problem. And this is our just so everyone has some I don't know if people know about Arkansas State or what they that listen, we were like, oh well, Fresno State, that's one of the top group of Arkansas State is not one of the top group of 5 schools. Arkansas State is gonna be ranked in the hundreds, guys. Arkansas State is a bottom feeder for group of 5s. And we just won a game by 10 points because they missed 2 field goals. The upright was our best defender today. That's where we are.
Yeah,
That's where we are. That's where we are, man. Even Will
yeah,
Johnson was getting cooked again.
uh, yeah. It just speaks to the coaching and what happened when Harbaugh took so many coaches. We're seeing it now, and we're seeing the differential because, especially on defense, there's quite a bit of returning talent, right? But you're seeing a just change in mentality and a decline there. But before we get into defense, because there's a whole lot to cover there, Nick has given us a $20 super chat
Thank you, Nick.
talking about the wide receivers and Bellamy, like we've said. Here to cheer you boys up. Today was a disgrace. Thank you for the 20 though. This is the 3rd straight week we saw wide receivers giving up on routes. Yep, not completing the routes. It's time to fire Ron Bellamy.
What
Thank
I
you.
said. That's what I yeah, he
Thank
needs to
you.
go. Get out of here.
We
Get out of here.
deserve more from our wide receiver development. Dude's out there falling down, and he is predicting 5
5-7.
wins,
Nick's at
7
5-7.
losses.
I'll tell you right now, we can't play like we did today. We cannot. We were gonna have a tough year, guys. Like I was 8-4, 7-5. Today, you want to know what we learned about today, John? We don't have a quarterback. Is what we learned about today. Davis
Yeah.
Warren is not the quarterback. So who is the quarterback? Is it Alex Orji, the running back? Because he was a running back for most of the game today. We don't have a quarterback. And again, this goes on the coaches for not getting a quarterback in the portal and having their false confidence, thinking that they could figure this out. Reality has come quick, Sharon Moore, real quick.
And before I get to, we got 2 more super chats, so thank you for that. Before we get to those, yeah, I guess Jack Tuttle was back this week in practice. I believe he's back out of injury. He's still injured, but
still injured.
I guess they just didn't. Yeah, they didn't want to chance that his recovery to bring him in this week. It just didn't make sense. So it was either going to be Warren or Orgy.
Yeah. So US. So before we go to the defense, we'll hit the super chats too before we go to defense. But I mean, the way it's looking to me, John, you tell me. I'm thinking they're going to start Alex Orgy against USC.
Yep,
is what I think is going to happen, and
kind of have to.
They better have a game plan tailored to Orgy. Now, I will say what I did like to see earlier in the game, but it doesn't even matter, is they started rolling Warren outright. They started it seemed to me like the playbook was better scripted for Warren. They better do the same thing for Alex Orgy. But let's get to this clown ass. I don't want to say, I'm gonna be respectful. Very silly super chat. Time to admit Stallions matter to us. Okay. If Stallions mattered, then why could no team stop us from Michigan State all the way to the national title?
Right.
Why did Michigan State run to the sideline every play and still get whooped 48 or 49 to nothing? Is it because Stallions wasn't good? No, the problem, Jabu, is Sharon Moore and co are doing a terrible job coaching this team. This team lacks fundamentals. It lacks discipline. It's not doing any of its assignments. The wide receivers are giving up on routes. The offensive line can't even hold their blocks. The quarterback can't even make throws down the field. The defense, Will Johnson, our best player, is getting burnt. Is that Connor Stallions? I don't think so. That's not Connor Stallions. What it is a team that has been coached poorly all offseason. We have a coaching problem, guys, and we've been saying this from week 1. It's evident. I'm hoping Sharon Moore can turn it around. I'm hoping. But I'll be honest, the longer this goes, which we have a 3-week sample size here, my confidence is dwindling quick. They've already lost my trust. Like, I have zero trust in the coaching staff. But I'm hoping that they can, through time on task, through repetition, right? I'm hoping it improves. But guess what? To me, today was almost a worse performance than last week. This is Arkansas State, guys. This is a bottom feeder. We should have dude, this should have been a 45-10 game or 7. And that touchdown at the end, that's again, our backups are higher rated than their starters, guys. And they're getting cooked.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
Man. And remember, Arkansas State's coach is the guy who was coaching Tennessee and said everybody's champions of life. They've got Butch Jones, Mr. Champions of Life, as their coach, and they made it a game against a defending national champion. So I don't know, man. Our buddy GT, really appreciate you. $5 here. Does anyone believe Moore at the end of the game when he says they will clean up their issues? I feel like we are being lied to.
We are. He doesn't know. Sean doesn't know. He's in over his head, man. We have a coach in over his head right now. He doesn't know what he's even looking at. I'm just gonna be frank about it. Like, he has no idea. You could tell the decisions he's making are ridiculous. The coaching decisions he's making with certain players starting at certain positions, and the way they're structuring the plays. What's going on with the defense right now? That's on Wink Martindale, but like, I do not have any confidence in Sharon Moore right now. I'm at a 0 for my confidence of Sharon Moore. My trust is at a 0 for this team. I think we're in trouble. I really do. And it's not gonna be saved in 1 year either. Like, this is the thing. We could talk about this year being the way it is. But they're not fixing this in 1 year. The only way this is going to be fixed or improved, fixed isn't the right word, improved, is if they get a legit quarterback in the transfer portal. And I mean legit. I mean, you drop about $2-3 million on a quarterback and you go and get some good offensive linemen, because that's what you, and probably a star wide receiver, because we don't have that. And hopefully Andrew Marsh stays in the class. So you can have Andrew Marsh start as a true freshman. You get a star wide receiver, and then Khalil Mullins, or I don't know who, Jordan Marshall or somebody next year can step up there. Yeah, I don't know. We're in a very bad spot. And the fact that the university threw that 5-year contract, made it official last week, is another reason why the university, in my opinion, makes a lot of terrible decisions. and this is another one.
Yep.
Because you're now in a 5-year contract. There's definitely a buyout. I don't even know what it is yet. And yeah, it's a mess. It's not good. We're in a position as a program where I don't think they're going to figure it out this year. I think it's going to be a tough year. And the offseason is going to be one where a lot of hard questions have to be answered. And the university really needs to get it together. And I'm very glad that the decision hasn't been made on revenue sharing yet, because I really hope this situation right now not only motivates the university and its administration to do the right thing with revenue sharing and put it into the football program. And then not only that, it gets the donors and collectives on target and realizing, oh, pre-NIL, post-NIL, there is a difference. We're not just going to transition ourselves and be top anymore. We have a lot of work to do. That's just the reality of the situation.
We have a lot of work to do. And it just is, I understand what ARP is saying here with the $2, and we appreciate you. Harbaugh did us dirty. We will be down for a while. But even with that, like, the reason Sharon Moore was picked, in part, it was because of where we were in the season, and after the Natty, some of the transfer portal quarterbacks were gone. Some of the other things that they could have done. Well, we were in the postseason and we were winning a Natty, so like, you kind of that does shorten the decision making process in some areas. But you still had Kirk Campbell, right? There's still Newsome. There's still some coaches on the offense, and then on the defense, allegedly. I from what it sounded like, Michigan was getting the OG of the defensive system, and we're about to hit defense now.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that right now. And let me just say this, John. Let's give a positive. Arkansas State was 7 for 18 on third down. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
That's it. Positives are over. 280 yards against us. Arkansas State got 280 yards on our defense today, guys. 280 yards on our defense, a bottom feeder in college football. We lack pressure. We lack contain. We have 1 sack today, guys. 1 sack all day against Arkansas State. 1. We had 0 last week.
Yeah, it's better than last week. It's an improvement, and it was Hausman, and Hausman is really good.
Arkansas State was down. We had dropped interceptions. We had like miscommunication in the back end. We had like with the Pollard for the touchdown where Pollard totally blew his assignment there. Yeah, I mean, it's wild to me. It's wild to see this because there's so much talent on this defense. This is how you get. So this is a very, very good and clear example of the difference coaching makes. We have the players, we have the talent. There's no question, but we don't have the coaches. That is the issue. We don't have the coaches, John.
I will say this. I do think that for a large chunk of the game, when the first string defense is in, because let's be real, when Arkansas State scored, you were seeing some players that aren't part of the first team defense that allowed that. I'm not excusing it.
Yeah, Pollard.
I'm not excusing it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, there was a shift to a bit more of the second string. But it did look better in at least the first half. They were keeping Arkansas State off the board, but it's Arkansas State, and you should be keeping them off the board the whole game. Not just half.
Well, look, our backup defense is better than their starters. It should be. Listen, we are a power pro. We are an elite blue blood. We recruit no worse than top 15 in the nation typically. I know last year wasn't because NIL. We don't want to be aggressive there. We're better now, but even so, at the end of the day, Arkansas State is not recruiting anywhere near us. Our backups are better than their starters, bro. This is a coaching problem. This is a coaching problem. We have an issue. We have a red flag. I am waving the red flag, bro. Our coaches are ass. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have any confidence in Sharon Moore. I have no confidence in Wink Martindale right now. We'll see. Let's hope they get it together, though. I mean, like, they got time, but next week, guess what? We got another test. Now that victory USC got over LSU doesn't look as good anymore. But even so, Miller Moss is probably the best quarterback in the Big Ten, or close to it if he's not. We're gonna have a help. Listen, again, this was Arkansas State. USC is gonna be a bit tougher of a test than Arkansas State. So I'll tell you right now, it still stands though, John. Next week's game is going to tell us exactly what we are as a football team. That's where I stand with it. What do you say, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the most important week of practice in Michigan's entire season, because this week is going to determine what are they going to draw up for Alex Orji in the pass game. Because I'm going to be real, like, most likely the reason we didn't see him pass a lot is because they weren't preparing for it in practice. At least that's my hunch. They mostly focused on the run.
No. He's been throwing all fall camp, John. He's getting second team reps. So you think the second team's not throwing the ball? I know you're hoping that that's the case. I know.
That's the case.
I know you're hoping that that's the case, John. It's not. He's throwing the ball in camp. He's throwing the ball in practice. Davis Warren's not throwing every ball, right?
But against the first team, it is a different situation.
Yeah, I mean, so Alex Orji is throwing the ball. No, the reason why they're not letting him, they don't trust him. The staff does not trust Alex Orji. Now, it was good to see, I will say this, it was good to see them start to allow him to try and throw the ball more. And I do think Alex Orji is capable of short to mid-range. I do. The coaching staff seems to not. That's the thing. Like, and it's wild, bro. I think they're afraid he's going to misfire and cause a turnover. I think that's really their biggest concern with Alex Orji. But like, what is Davis Warren doing? 6 interceptions in 3 games. One of Sharon
I have
Moore's
no defense to that.
One of Sharon Moore's biggest things is ball security, and we're not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not happening.
Yeah,
positive.
Like,
let's give up. Our running game's improving.
Absolutely.
Nice. Will Mullins
absolutely. You saw some gap. You saw some A gap separation there, where the runners were able to start getting through, which is what you saw in 2023 when the offense, the line started to gel more. So you started to get some of those gaps, but with one caveat: that's coming against a team called Arkansas State, where the talent differential is so big. Is that still going to happen against USC? No, I think it's going to be tougher. I think it's going to be tougher to get those gaps through.
Yeah, to maybe give some more context, Arkansas State would probably be the worst team in the Big Ten. And they just made it a 10-point game today. Yeah. And they missed 2 field goals in doing so. Okay.
It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough year, man.
Killer Pando with the 10. Appreciate you. You're bringing it down to 61 left for a second hour. We have talent comparable to Indiana, not OSU. Recruiting matters. Also, him not getting a transfer quarterback and wide receiver. Well, he did get Charleston, but hiring those coordinators, if he goes 6-6 or loses to MSU, he should be fired. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair point.
I agree. I said this earlier. I said this maybe, I don't know, maybe it was this week on the Tuesday show. I think I said if Sharon Moore goes 8-4 or 7-5, he's going to get another year. If it's any worse than that, they need to cut bait and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Find a guy. Find a coach. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if we allow this, listen, some people are going to be like, oh, he's over dramatic. No. Listen, hear me out. If we allow Sharon Moore to ride this journey for the next year, or next 2 years or more, dark times at Michigan. He doesn't got it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. He's in over his head. He's an inexperienced head coach. He's never done this before. It's so clear. It is so clear he does not know how to run a program. We are in trouble. That is what it is. He cannot. Now, if he goes 7-5, 8-4, he's going to get another year. And then what it comes down to is this: they better be aggressive in the offseason. Better be aggressive with the portal. They better be aggressive with coaching hires. Some coaches got to go. They got to really figure it out. Yeah, Bellamy's got to go. You're done. You should just give him his papers now.
Yeah. Another Stallions are like, you know what? Everybody throw the Stallions just for this ridiculous. Everybody throw the Stallions in the chat.
I was gonna say, John. By the way, we're getting rid of the emoji smash. That's gone. I don't want that.
Okay.
That's out of here. Sharon's gone. I don't even want that in our
I'm with you.
He's lost my love, dude.
I'm with you on that. We'll switch it out for something else good. Jobu, how concerned should we be with the NCAA investigation?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a 3.5. It's not, dude. Like, I don't know, Jabu. I'm gonna be honest. You seem like an undercover Ohio State fan with your comments, and that's
what it
okay.
sounds
We
like.
appreciate $2. I appreciate it, and I'm not mad at you. Look, here's the deal. And I've already given my take on the NCAA investigation, but here's what I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is a 2 to 3 year probation, a Sharon Moore suspension, 1 to 2 games, a fine in the 8 figures, and potential recruiting restrictions, whether it be scholarships or like visiting weekends, things of that nature. Now, if anyone's expecting pulled wins, not happening, ban bowls, not happening, or removal of national title, you're go get some more pennies and go to your wishing well, because you're going to need to keep wishing. It's not happening. Okay. Like, these things are, it's clown show. It's clown show. Like, it's the reason why no games will be taken away is because Michigan does not have ineligible players. Ineligible players occur when players get financial inducement when they shouldn't, or they're academically ineligible because they're in classes they don't do, or they're getting pushed through classes at passing grades that aren't real. Like North Carolina, who didn't get punished, by the way. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude, we have schools getting wiretapped and nothing happened to them, and they got caught through mass payment plans and stuff like that. Like, listen, the rivals hoping and wishing for some more downfall in Michigan. And here's another thing too. There's even a part of me, I'll be real. There's a part of me that's like, oh, NCAA is going to see what's going on with Michigan. They're like, oh, they've killed themselves. We don't need to go as hard. There's a part of me that thinks that may be a reality.
Oh, jeez.
But let's just say this as well. NCAA isn't going to do shit. I'm just letting you know that right now. So if anything's beyond the scope of like reasonable, Michigan will fight it. You know, Ward's already said that publicly, anyways.
Yep. Josephine's here. So Josephine with the 5, appreciate you. Don't want to sound snarky, but 3 games in and we still don't know if the starting quarterback can throw a football. Well, if it's Alex Orji, we know that he physically can because we have seen it, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not good. We now know that there are throwing occasions. Can he throw it deep successfully? Still haven't seen that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if there's improvement into week 4 against USC. But I'm gonna tell you right now, USC's defense looks improved, so we'll see how it goes.
Name Schneem bringing us down to 49 left for the second hour. Kirk Campbell wants his players to fit his system, then vice versa, or else we'd see more of Orji and Mullings. He was let go after 2 seasons at Old Dominion. It does look like he's trying to force a square peg in a round hole.
I mean, look, Kirk Campbell did a great job with JJ last year, but let's just put this in reality. Sharon was offensive coordinator last year, right? He has input on the game plan. The offensive coordinator is not going, against Sharon Moore here. Sharon Moore looks at the game plan. They are planning it together. Sharon Moore is involved. He's not, and if let's just say Kirk Campbell is 100% the architect of our scheme and game plan right now, then it's on Sharon Moore not to overrule him. At the end of the day, and Sharon did a fine job. We won a national championship with Sharon Moore as our offensive coordinator. So it's not like we don't have a national championship caliber offensive coordinator. We obviously do. The problem is they're not coached well, and there's a lack of talent at the quarterback position. We do not have a competent quarterback. On top of not having a competent quarterback, we do not have an offensive line who can protect the quarterback. And on top of not having a competent quarterback and an offensive line that can protect them, we don't have wide receivers who can get open.
Let me ask you this, TJ. What's going on with Evan Link and the Crippen and Judas situation, where it's like they're still in, even though now we're kind of starting to see evidence that Crippen's better? I'm a little confused what's going on with the line there.
Well, to me, there's no more battle at center. I think Crippen won it. And the offensive line played so much better once he joined it. They had way more push up the middle. Yeah. We saw it in the results on the field. Crippen's center won, and that battle needs to stop. Right tackle, Evan Link, another terrible game. He got literally thrown into Davis Warren. And that wasn't the only like baffled. Like that wasn't the only play he messed up. Like there was so many times Evan Link was outmatched, and this is again against Arkansas State, bro. Like he's gonna get eaten alive when Big Ten play comes. I'm gonna tell you that right. They are going to overload his side. It is such a vulnerability.
Absolutely. We're about to bring up some callers, but before we do want to give. At least this is my vote, and TJ, if you have a different person, feel free to bring it up. But Khalil Mullings today, 15 carries, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Someone other than the kicker just won this award. So there's that.
Yeah,
congrats,
he's my
Khalil
winner
Mullings.
too. Khalil Mullins, he looked good. He looked good. He looked great. He has good vision. He does. He's exactly who we need at RB1. They just need, and I don't mind Donovan Edwards getting a little change. Like I don't mind them giving him the ball sometimes, but just use him different. Use him in the slot. Use him on end around. Like use him differently than you're using Donovan Edwards. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was better today, but I do fear you play a more competent defense. You're not going to be pushing, the defensive line 3 yards off the ball like we were today. Arkansas State, guys, is a very undersized defensive line. Okay, this we know. I mean, I think everyone knows. I don't need to explain the realities of Arkansas State versus what's coming. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So beats and treats with the fiver, bringing us down to $44 to go. Orgy just looks out of rhythm. I think if Orgy gets more snaps in previous games, he hits Fred more. Sharon Moore failed him. No confidence. Yeah, when you're putting Davis Warren in and you're putting out Orgy in for like one snap in one drive, then yeah, it's kind of hard to get into a rhythm and confidence.
Yeah, I mean, well, also I think it's hard to get in a rhythm when all you do is hand the ball off. Like there was literally a good like 8 plays in a row where they just handed it off. Maybe it was 9, maybe it was 7, but you know what I mean. Like there was a good run there where it was all runs. I even posted on social media. Guess what the next play is going to be? It's a run. Like it was so predictable. It was so predictable, man.
Yep. It was and look, I understand the one thing I do understand is that they didn't want it to go to Alex Orji too often to run. Because that I do understand, because they want to avoid what happened in previous, where they just kept giving it to Alex Orji up the middle. But now that he might be now QB1 moving forward, now they're really going to have to mix it up with some handoffs, with some actually creative play calling in the run game, a little, maybe some
Play
other
actions.
things going on.
Yeah, some rolling out, some rollouts,
Rolling.
some play actions,
Yep.
Maybe even a nice flea flicker. Probably could burn a defense pretty good because they're going to sell out for the run. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do against USC. I'm interested to see an evolved playbook with Orji. I mean, they better craft a playbook for Alex Orji.
Yep. Killer Panda is going for it here with the 5. At least fire Wink and Campbell, aka the coordinators. So are we firing them now, or are we firing them after the season, or when are you recommending the firing happen? Because if it happens too soon, then you have to get a replace. Obviously, there's issues with team coordination if you fire both your coordinators now, so it would probably need to be after the season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening because I don't think, again, I just don't think Sharon Moore has the confidence to do a move like that. I don't think he's comfortable. Listen, sure, and I don't want to I feel bad because I actually like Sharon Moore,
I do too.
But like, I like him. I loved him as our offensive line coach. I loved everything he did, but like, I don't feel like he is. Some people are just not head coaches, and I'm not sure he's got it. And I know it's early, but you're at a big time program. This is why you go through the natural progression of coaching, where you are a coordinator, then you become a head coach at a smaller school, then you work your way up. Sharon's not doing any of that. Sharon Moore has literally gone from O-line coach, from tight end coach to O-line coach to coordinator at Michigan, up to a premier program like Michigan. This is what happens when you have an inexperienced head coach. You have these, like, I think Sharon Moore's trusting people too much, like Wink. And I don't think he has total control of the program right now. Like now look, it's not like a Georgia issue where all of our players are going 100 miles an hour. but we do have an issue on the field, you know. Like, I don't think there's a culture issue. I don't think there's a culture issue. I don't think there's an issue in the locker room or anything like that. But I do think
No,
on the
it
field
seems
there,
to continue to be the player-led culture
yeah,
of if you don't believe in righting the ship, don't come into the building. That's what we saw 21, 22, 23 was that player-led, like, get your shit in gear if you're coming into to work. Like, we're coming into work and trying to fix this.
yeah.
Ramez with the 2 super sticker. We appreciate that. And then we got another one from Cody Momfer, who's also a member. And just a reminder that you can become a YouTube member for as low as $2.99 a month. And then, as we actually did the other day, we had a members only stream that we had a lot of fun, and we talked ball, we talked X's and O's, and it was a great time. And we're going to be doing lots of member stuff and things. And as you go up the levels, you get more, right? So we really appreciate everybody who considers either becoming a member or gifting memberships, because all of that counts towards getting a second hour. So we're 32 now away from a second hour. Cody with the 5 saying, guys, maybe we were wrong about more. The team looks undisciplined and out of whack. Warren was Ocorn level bad today. Yeah. And Wink is trash AF. Strong words, but I think fair words. And I was resisting the O'Corn comparison, but today I'm gonna agree with that. It looked like O'Corn.
Yeah, I mean, I agree about the more comment though, which I think is more important. I mean, forget the quarterback
Yeah.
situation, because I mean
Yeah.
that's they the coaches made their own bet here. They decided to go with the quarterbacks we had. They didn't want to go and get aggressive with a quarterback to enter the transfer portal. That's on the coaches. They had every opportunity to do it. They didn't. Yeah, you know, like, so it is what it is. I mean, our quarterback situation, it's on the coaches, and they may have put themselves in a position where it could be not a career ender, but a job ender, where, like, I don't know if they can recover from this. Now, hopefully they can get a quarterback in the offseason, but you already have a down year. That's already a strike on you. You better have a really good year next year if you get a second year. And they probably will get a second year, because Michigan's not proactive at all. They're a reactive school. It's always been that way for the most part. Very rarely are they a proactive school.
Yeah, I agree that is a very important part of the super chat. And maybe we were wrong about more. I defend the move at I think in terms of the options that we had, because it's tough, because the alternative, if you bring in, I mean, it's such an unknown. You bring in a DeBoer, you bring in a Jed Fish, because I feel like those were kind of the the people that might have been interested. Then what happens to the talent? Do they stay? Do they transfer with a different head coach than they know, a different set of coordinators than they know, and probably a new way of doing things, new culture across the board? Does a lot of the defense talent and some of the offense talent that did come back, do they stay? And that's an open question. We're not going to know, because they went with Sharon Moore. But that would be what I would be concerned about with a brand new coach.
Yeah, but I mean, like, listen to I'll give Michigan a little backing here. I mean, when Jim Harbaugh finally made his decision to go to the Chargers, it was so late in the coaching process. The coaches were all hired. Like, this was really your smoothest transition. Now, the thing I don't like is, although I'll tell you what, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, because I wouldn't have been happy about it in the summer. But what I don't like is they just threw this 5-year contract at him and they made it public. And I don't see them getting out of it. There's no way they will. That's just, I can't see it. Now, if they do get out of it, then that tells you there's definitely a change in Michigan, and they're definitely more aggressive. And they should. They have the money to do it. But the fact that, and the reason it would have, listen, and I'll just be like, totally transparent. If they didn't do this, I would have been upset in the offseason if they would have given him a temp, name, or coaching title, because if that's the case, then recruiting would have suffered. So The reality was Michigan was put in a bad spot to Harbaugh. Harbaugh put us in a bad spot at the end of the day, taking forever to make a decision. He screwed us in the April portal. The decision and then yanking a bunch of coaches wasn't good either. Listen, I love Harbaugh. He won us a national title, and I am grateful for that. But like, the reality is the reality. It wasn't optimal. It wasn't a good situation. It didn't help us. It wasn't a positive. So then we waited so long in the process, we had to go with Sharon Moore.
Moose with the 10. So Moose has just brought us down to 22 left to get a second hour. So I can't stay positive anymore about this team. It's just not good, and I finally accepted it. At this point, I'll be happy with 6 or 7 wins. Our coaches have done a horrible job prepping this year.
All right. So first, I want to say I like the emoji Moose. That's dope. Secondly, I want to say Moose was hard on me Thursday. Moose was very unhappy with me Thursday because he thought I was being, he just wasn't very happy with the situation. But Moose is, he sees where we are, and I appreciate Moose for calling it out like it is. Moose is calling it like it is. Moose, I was at 8-4. I think I might have to move my expectations to 7-5 now. And if this keeps going the way it's going, I might be on Nick's. I might be joining Nick, and potentially missing a bowl here.
5-7. Oh my
I don't know
God.
if we're that bad, but shoot, man, today was not good. But yeah, I hear you, Moose. The thing that's the worst about all this, John, and I know we have a bunch of callers which we're going to get to next, guys. Thanks for hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the light? Where is the hope or the area of positivity? Because there isn't. And the reason why there isn't is because we don't trust our coach. We think our coach is in over his head. It doesn't look good anywhere. And there's no promising young players. Where's the young core? Like, there's not that there isn't. Okay, let me just clarify. It doesn't mean there isn't on the roster, but we haven't seen it yet. Like, Jordan Marshall's obviously, like, there is talent on the roster, but we don't have the quarterback you can believe in. And that's the biggest piece of the puzzle, right? Like, Brady Hart's 2 years away. It's not Carter Smith, guys. I'm going to let you guys know that right now. I'm going to just let y'all know. Carter Smith is not, he is an athlete who is a very good player, but not a quarterback. His throwing mechanics are not good. If he's your quarterback in the future, you won't be happy. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it's not Carter Smith.
I'm not going to lie. I still like Orgy. I'm standing by that. I like Orgy.
You like it for what, though? What is Orgy?
For this year. For this year, specifically.
All right, we don't have okay, but do you think Orgy is the answer long term?
No, I think it's either Davis or I think you have to. I think it would be almost criminal malpractice to not get a decent quarterback in the portal, at least to compete with Jaden Davis and who comes back. But I think that for this year, for the next 9 games,
Look, let's say that's the case, but is there light? Do you have hope? Or are you going to be pulling your hair out all year?
I think there could be some pulling. I think there could be some hair pulling, but I saw enough. I saw enough positive in 2 areas. Obviously, we know the kicker is very good, but the other positive that I did see is that when you started to see the run game emerge that Michigan has been so famous for. I understand it was against Arkansas State, so that has to be a huge asterisk of, like, okay, they're not going to get the same gap separation against USC because Sean Nua coaches that D-line. It's legit. So it's going to be a bit more of a struggle than it was this week. However, Khalil Mullings is legit. He's going to be legit. He was even not bad against Texas, right, when he was in. So I think Khalil Mullings if they can keep him at running back 1, and they can have Donovan go out to the perimeter or catch a few passes in the slot, then I think there's something. Oh crap, we're getting more. We're getting even more super chats. I think we just got a second hour, guys.
All right, well, what's our total at, Jen? Yeah, get our total. For
I gotta do it. So this brings it down to 17. Killer Panda 499. Yeah, we got there. So this brings it down to 17. So if we go 6-6 or worse, expect lots of transfers and decommits. Absolutely. Thank you for that, by the way, Killer Panda. This brings it down to 5. So the next one definitely gets us there. Moose with the 12. Did we get another hour? Yes.